Bruce Andrew Roberts was born in 1956 in Coonabarabran and raised in opulence. Despite being raised by wealthy parents, he had a strained relationship with his sister and had mental health problems. A bit strange, a loner, socially awkward, his relative described him. Roberts was a wealthy recluse in his Sydney suburb, hoarding everything from boxes and broken equipment to newspapers and trash. But his neighbors were unaware that he was also storing a mummified corpse of a man he had murdered in 2002, according to a recent inquest by the Coroner's Court of New South Wales. "No one's been near the home," said neighbor Gail Marr. "The home would have been fairly bad inside. He had mental issues and was a bit of a recluse. Everything was locked up. You couldn't see inside the windows." On July 21, 2017, when neighbors requested a welfare check on Roberts, the grisly facts inside were only exposed. Investigators discovered him rotting and badly burned atop a live heater. He was an extreme hoarder. "I've never seen anything like it," Senior Constable Shane Spencer said of Roberts. "As we walked into the front door of the address, there were immediately items stacked from floor to ceiling. It was evident he never threw anything at all out." While officials quickly discovered Roberts' body on a live heater, cleaners tasked with clearing his property discovered the other person's body a year later. Shane Snellman, 39, was identified as the victim following his discovery in 2018. He was raised in different boys' homes after being placed in a Catholic convent as a toddler. Snellman got his start in severe crime when he was 15 years old and allegedly killed a homeless man. He was acquitted, but he suffered with drug addiction as an adult, spending time in and out of jail. After being released from prison in 2002, Snellman, a heroin addict and transient, broke into Roberts' home. A coroner ruled in 2021 that Roberts shot Snellman in the head after spotting the intruder. Instead of alerting the cops, Roberts draped Snellman's body in a rug and stuffed it into a spare bedroom, where it remained for 15 years. His death was discovered by cleaners clearing the debris-filled property for sale on May 29, 2018. They discovered him with a gunshot wound to the neck, leaning slightly to the left on a couch. He was still dressed in the same clothes as when he was last seen alive in 2002. The remains were totally mummified, according to DNA tests taken at the Sydney Forensic Medicine Department in Lidcombe. Roberts had placed more than 70 bottles of air freshener around Snellman's body in a conscious effort to hide the stench of his decomposition, according to Tina Xanthos, assistant to the coroner. To identify him, police had to depend on visible tattoos and residual fingerprints. Roberts' home also contained 19 illegal firearms and large quantities of ammunition, though the jury was unable to determine which gun was used on Snellman. An autopsy revealed 15 metallic fragments in his chest and stomach, as well as residues of methamphetamine, buprenorphine, and amphetamines, according to a toxicology report. The two deceased Australians were described by the inquest as strangers in life who had a fatal chance encounter. Snellman was only discovered after Roberts' death and because his house was being prepared for sale the following year. Shane Snellman's family has finally received closure on his horrific death at the hands of Roberts, over 20 years after he was last seen. John Snellman, his father, claimed his late son was impulsive yet good-hearted. One of his sisters remembers seeing her brother behind bars the last time she saw him, but that he has never been forgotten, adding that she screamed and fell to the floor when she learned of his death. Tiana Snellman, Snellman's niece, described him as a compassionate man. "He was a really loving man who would do anything for anyone. He didn't deserve what he got." What do you think of this case? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you are into this kind of videos, consider subscribing to Dark Watch and turn on the notification bell to get notified for more updates.